Om Vakradunda Mahakaya
वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय
Surya Koti Samaprabha
सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभा
Nirvignam
निर्विघ्नं
Kurume
कुरु मे
Deva
देव
Sarvakaryeshu
सर्वकार्येषु
Sarvada
सर्वदा
Saraswati
सरस्वति
Namastubhyam
नमस्तुभ्यं
Varade
वरदे
Kamarupini
कामरूपिणि
Vidyarambham
आरम्भं
Karishyami
करिष्यामि
Siddhir Bhavatu
ते
Me
भवतु मे
Sada
सदा
Gurur Brahma
गुरुर्ब्रह्मा
Gurur Vishnu
गुरुर्विष्णुः
Gururdevo
गुरुर्देवो
Maheshwaraha
महेश्वरः
Guru
गुरुः
Sakshat
साक्षात्
Param
परं
Brahma
ब्रह्म
Tasmai
तस्मै
Shri Gurave
श्रीगुरवे
Namaha
नमः।
Om
ॐ
Sahana
सहना
Bhavatu
भवतु सहनौ
Sahanau
भुनक्तु
Bhunaktu
सह वीर्यं
Sahaviryam
करवावहै
Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastama Vidvishavahe Om Shanti 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 Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha
ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः।
Atha Tritiyodhyayah
अथ तृतीयोऽध्यायः
Shri Bhagavanuvacha
श्रीभगवानुवाच
Shreyan Svatharmo Vigunaha
श्रेयान् स्वधर्मो विगुणः
Paradharmat Svanushtitat
परधर्मात् स्वनुष्ठितात्
Swadharme Nidhanam Shreyaha
स्वधर्मे निधनं श्रेयः
Paradharmo Bhayavaha
परधर्मो भयावहः।
Paradharma Swadharma. The Swadharma Anushtanam, whether it is Lokika or Vedika, is again and again it is emphasized. Swakarmana tamabhyachya siddhim vindati manavaha. Later Bhagavan Krishna says, Swakarma, Swadharma. Tam abhyarchya, Ishwaram abhyarchya. Worshipping the Lord. Worship of the Lord is performing one's Swadharma, one's Dharma. Siddhim vindati manavaha, moksham vindati. Siddhi. Not directly, of course. Swadharmana, Sakarmana, Karma Yogena, Chitta Shuddhi, Chitta Shuddhi Dvara, Jnana Praptihi, Jnana Yogyata Praptihi, then Jnanam Moksha iti. So Swadharma. Why this advice, specifically this Upadesha is given, Swadharma Anushtanam? Because Karma Vishaye, in doing the karma, in doing one's dharma, in just doing karma, in action, any action, you have a choice. That is a Purushartha. If choice is not there, you cannot choose the Purushartha. You cannot choose what Purushartha you want to accomplish. Desire is a privilege, and accomplishing the desire through karma. So that accomplishing, wanting to accomplish, or even the dismissing the desire itself, the bud itself, that is also Purushartha. So therefore, it's all about your exercising your choice. That is the topic. Raga Dveshas are there. You exercise them or not is your choice. What Raga Dveshas are there, that you cannot say. It is there. Over that, Nigraha Kim Karishyati, Raga Dveshas are there, but it can be managed. What raga dveshas I should have? I cannot say this raga dvesha, I want this raga, this dvesha, this raga. That you cannot say. It is there. Raga dveshas, prakriti. But working on that, you have a choice. So for exercise your choice. Even though you have raga dveshas that have no connection with your dharma, still you have a choice. You can choose not to go along with your raga dveshas. So free will is there. Over raga dveshas, what raga I should have, what dvesha I must have, I don't have free will. But to go along with that, to go by the command of raga dvesha, I have choice. You need not have anything to do with that. The only connection there need be is that they happen in your mind. You need only recognize them, nothing more. Prakriti. You can even be so amused by them that you will not need to read another thriller. Read your own mind. That will be enough. Your mind can provide you with pages and pages of entertainment by you're simply witnessing what is going on. But in terms of choice and action, you go with what you want in accordance with the norms of Dharma. So, what thoughts occur in the mind that we don't have choice. But we will discover the thoughts when we become the witness. But when you identify with that and commit karma, then it is raga dvesha based action. It becomes karma which is based on raga dvesha. That invites papa punya. That puts you in samsara. One's swadharma may not be as productive, as convenient, or as pleasant as one might want. Duties are certainly not always pleasant. That can be unpleasant also, like Arjuna. For Arjuna, this Yuddha was the beginning, before he received the Upadesha, it was unpleasant. Nor may they be remunerative or convenient, may not pay you. But you have to do only that which is your swadharma. There is no choice, according to me, as injunction, the Shastra. Choice is there, but Shastra says swadharma should be done. Nityam, kartavya, it should be done. It's an order. Even though it may be viguna, devoid of enticing, pleasing, fascinating, or satisfactory features, endowed with imperfection, may not be pleasant. Your own duty is definitely better for you to perform the dharma of others, because the dharma of others is not your dharma. It's not to be done by you. Thus, each person has certain things to do, and these are what he or she must do. One need not do what others do. The one common factor between your dharma and others' dharma is that each of you do. You do yours, he does his. The actions to be done differ, situations differ, expectations differ, but each of you do what is to be done by you alone. In this way, you find your karma becomes a yajna. So this is even in a teamwork, even in a yuddha, each one has a certain responsibility, as each one is supposed to do certain action. Then only there will be an integrated action, and therefore the result will be in expectation with what we want. So doing what one has to do, that becomes a yajna. If you can appreciate the phenomenal forces in your life as so many devatas, as aspects and features of Ishvara, and not just dumb forces, you give them the status of deities or God, devata, like Chakshuhu devata. Chakshuhu, which is the sense organ for perception. So devata is Surya devata, the faculty of sight. So similarly, each sense organs of action, sense organs of knowledge are pervaded by or presided over by a particular devata. That's that force. It's not the dumb force, as he said. It is representation of Ishvara. So we give them the Devata got some status. For instance, Surya is the sun is not just an implosion that is taking place. It can be explained this way scientifically, but it is actually a blessing. That this implosion takes place there and not here is definitely a blessing. It's also a blessing that sun rises in the morning. As a part of the whole Jagat, at the center of the entire system, the sun is a blessing. It's a blessing in every way, every way. Just as the sun is a blessing, as a Devata, he blesses all the beings. Sun is a blessing. So too is the air, water, earth, every plant, insect, and so on. So everything is a blessing. The elements are all forces that can be looked upon as devatas, panchabhutas. Panchabhutas, akasha, vayu, agni, apaha, prithvi, they're all forces. They're all devatas, adi bhautika. By recognizing them as such, you need not tell yourself that we should work for the welfare of the people. It will be spontaneous because by recognizing these forces, they're acting in harmony, that are working for you, you will automatically recognize fellow beings and living creatures. With this sensitivity, Karma Yogi has this sensitivity. Therefore, being sensitive is Karma Yoga. With this sensitivity, you will not need to be told to be kind to people, to be empathetic, to be appreciative of their needs, to do unto others what you would have them do unto you. So ahimsa, etc., all these things need not be taught. Because it is because you are a mature person, a sensitive person. So when you recognize Ishvara manifesting through different orders, different forces, when you recognize, then you, without being told, you will be sharing the same kind of feeling with others, with all beings, not only human beings, with all beings. By being able to include devatas, all others are naturally included. The books that talk about conduct and values, Dharma Shastra, recognizes this fact. If, for example, you can cut a tree for any purpose, the Dharma Shastra says that you should plant and care for 10 more trees. Cutting one tree, fine, for some purpose you are cutting, but you have to replace it by 10 more trees. You have to plant 10 more trees. Like for Tirubide Marudu, that's a place, Tamil Nadu. A huge chariot was built. In fact, it was built under the instruction of Swamiji. Swamiji gave fund. For that, a tree, the name of the tree, forgot. It is available in the forest. The huge tree. We need a fully grown tree to make the Ratha, chariot for the Lord. It's a huge one. With government's permission, it was cut, but cutting is done. But as a prayasita, or there's no prayasita. In fact, it is said because you are cutting a tree and you have to plant 10 more trees. They did actually planted 10 more trees. Not only planting, you have to grow them, take care of them. This is to ensure that at least one of the 10 will survive. And I'm told American Forestry Department follow this rule now. This is what our Shastra also say. Then the principle of non-injury, ahimsa. The thinking behind this rule is that to cut a tree is to perform an injury, ahimsa. There is nothing wrong with cutting a tree if it is necessary, but at the same time, there should be awareness of the principle of non-injury, ahimsa, with reference to trees and all other forms of life. Jainis is completely, Jainis. Jainis is completely based on ahimsa, as is Buddhism to a lesser extent. This ahimsa, even sannyasi, they will not pluck flowers from the tree, because plucking the flowers from the plants, from the trees, is an ahimsa. They are not supposed to, they will not even do it. And Jainis, they follow it completely. They follow it absolutely, Jainism. Buddhism is not. Buddhism, they don't kill, but if it is killed and cooked us and given us bhiksha, they take it. Mahavira, the founder of Jainism, highlighted himself to such an extent that he instructed his fellow followers to sweep the path in front of them as they walk, so as not to trample on any insect that may be there. How difficult is it? But it's an act of ahimsa. Also, the sweeping was to be done with feathers, with pick of feathers, not with the broom, because insect may get killed. With feathers, so that the insect will be removed from the path as gently as possible. When a person is talking, his or her mouth is to be covered to avoid bugs entering and being killed by the person. That is why mouth is covered. This is a kind of discipline and reflects an awareness that killing is wrong. By creating such situations as Mahavira did, that's symbolic heightening of one's sensitivity. A person who sweeps the path before walking on it, out of fear of killing an ant or any insect, will definitely not be able to kill a fellow human being. This then is what is meant by ahimsa. Human values are all based on the principle of live and let live. At the same time, much more than that. In fact, you live in the awareness of how others make your life possible, and in return, you make their life possible rather than miserable. Their lives should be definitely as happy as you want others yours to be. In this way, each member of the society performs his or her duty and gains shreyas. That society is a sensitive society where everyone does his or her duty. The Vedic culture is based upon duty alone, only karma, kartavyam karma. According to the person's group, varna, and stage of life, ashrama, varna and ashrama. It was in the spirit of this culture that Krishna intends to convey here when he says, to die performing one's dharma is better. Swadharme ridhanam, maranam shreya. Death is better in doing one's dharma rather than taking up paradharma, somebody's dharma. If a man is a Brahmana, his job is only to study and teach the Vedas along with the performing of rituals, religious duties, prayers for the welfare of the society. That is Brahmana Dharma. Brahmana Dharma, Brahmana Dharma. If this is his job, he should do it without comparing himself to someone else. He should not compare with Vaishya, Shudra, or compare with Kshatriya. His Dharma is studying the Vedas and propagating, preaching it. That someone else also should do his or her duty. Remuneration did not form the basis for choice of duty. Duty was prescribed. The results of abandoning one's dharma, because many brahmanas have abandoned the dharma, because now it is based on remuneration. So those time it was the basis for choice of duty, not based on remuneration. But now remuneration becomes an important factor. Therefore, brahmanas have abandoned the swadharma. There are very few people who are capable of performing the religious activities that the brahmanas are responsible for. Only very few. Only few brahmanas are there who are doing their swadharma, nitya karma. And agnihotra karma, only very, very few, handful. And these few tend to be those who cannot be engineers, doctors, businessmen, soldiers, and so on. They cannot be employees, employers. This is why the so-called religious people of today are not truly religious. Not really religious. Brahmanas are not really Brahmanas. Maybe born in that caste, but not performing the karma, therefore really they are not Brahmana, not religious. Suppose, however, remuneration and satisfaction are not the criteria in terms of what I do. Because I was born in a particular family and because my aim is moksha, I know exactly what is to be done by me. My life becomes a preparation for moksha, that it enables my mind to become mature, to gain antahkarana shuddhi. Preparing the mind in this way is not an ordinary task. One's entire lifetime may be necessary to make the antahkarana mature, along with the numerous lifetimes that have preceded this one. As Bhagavan said in the Gita itself, is not one lifetime job. If we having entered into this pursuit, if we miss this time, it is going to continue. We'll pick up the thread. The next janma. Yoginam kule bhavati dhimata. Atava yoginam eva kule bhavati dhimata. एतद्धि दुर्लभतरं लोके जन्म इति दृशम् प्राप्य पुण्यकृतां लोकाम् उषित्वा शाश्वती समाः शुचीनां श्रीमतां वेगे योगभ्रष्टो विजायते. That is yoga brashtaha. Those who have failed to achieve in this life, they will get a chance in their next janma, either by taking birth in a cultured, wealthy family or in a family of yogis. So therefore, antakarana shuddhi, it takes sometimes depends on the person, numerous lifetimes. Or he would have taken a person would have committed himself to karma yoga before numerous lifetimes. That may have preceded this one. A person can reach his or her 80s and still have the old phobias and childhood problems that he or she had before. It seems as though one lifetime is not enough. And because lifetime start with the same innocence, we have the same problems for which there seems to be no solution. If inner maturity is such an important factor and moksha is to be gained, what money do you need to have beyond what you need to live a simple life? Question simply, beautifully asked. What money do you need to have beyond what you need to live a simple life? If moksha is the priority, maturity is the priority. Of course, you must be able to buy your food and other basic necessities. Therefore, the need for money depends entirely upon your aim. Because this vision is moksha, the Vedic society is based upon duty so that the mind may be purified and able to grasp the vision. If the aim is moksha, then there is no competition. That is why sannyasis are they don't compete. Right? It is a dharma, not to compete. Which job you have is not an issue. And because you bring a certain attitude to it, you love doing the job, that is yours to do. You know that what you require is maturity of mind. And that by performing what is to be done by you, you will gain it. Changing jobs is only necessary when the aim is money. Nowadays, there are even consulting agencies to advise you about which courses you should take, which field is currently open, where the easy jobs are, the better jobs, the more remunerative jobs. These agencies are staffed by people who earn money by giving such advice to others. The whole approach is to learning and doing now as its basis in what will bring more money. For example, if a glut occurs in the field of chemical engineering, everyone becomes disinterested in that field and runs towards electronics. When there is a glut there, those who are interested in electronics go to chemical engineering. Like this, everything keeps changing and people keep switching. Duties and rights are one and the same. When power and money are the criteria, your whole attitude changes. Whereas if Antakana Shuddhi is the aim, what job you do means nothing, and how well you do, that means a lot. Therefore, in the Vedic society, there are only duties. There are no rights whatsoever. In fact, they are one and the same. We see this also in the American Constitution or in the Constitution of any country for that matter, where a person is granted certain rights, given the right to carry a gun, but along with that right are certain responsibilities. Must have a license, and you cannot shoot simply because you happen to have a gun. Any right naturally implies a certain responsibility. You can emphasize the rights and spell out the responsibilities, the duties, which is what modern constitutions do. They specify the rights of citizens and then mention the duties associated with those rights. Or you can emphasize the duties and not mention rights at all. When you emphasize rights, you have to mention the duties and enforce them also. But when you emphasize the duties, you need not even mention the rights. Why is this? Because if you analyze duties, you will find that all duties are interpersonal. They're connected, interrelated. Duties towards the devatas or gods, towards the forefathers, towards parents, towards other members of the family, towards fellow beings and all living creatures. That is what is called karma yoga. Bhuta yajna, nara yajna, deva yajna, pitar yajna, brahma yajna. So our whole lifestyle is designed with Vedic design, designed by the Vedic lifestyle. It was. So therefore, since there is interdependency, therefore only the duties, therefore only the duties, we have duties towards other beings. We are indebted to rishis, we are indebted to our own family members, our fellow beings, all other creatures. In this way, you have widening circles of duty. In India, even today, the emphasis on duty is reflected in a person's speech. If you ask a man if he can come to see you, he will not say he has to go for work. He will say he has duty. And if he takes up a new job, he will say he has joined duty. He has reported to duty. He's just coming from duty. This is his duty. This concept of duty is what is called dharma, sadharma, one's own duty. Being a husband, for example, is a role that comes with certain duties. There is no such person called husband. It is merely a role. Related to someone, a man is a husband to that person. Every role has a script. It is one's swadharma. As a husband, then a man performs his duties according to the script, swadharma. In this way, his wife receives certain rights. Similarly, in a role as a wife, she also performs her duties, and as a husband, he receives his rights. How can either person's rights be denied when each one performs his or her swadharma? Similarly, as a citizen, I perform my duties. State also performs its duties, which become my rights as a citizen. The citizen duties become state's rights. Therefore, all that we have our duties. Rights come to us as a natural consequence, but we do not go after them. We don't command or demand our rights. We only try to perform our duties. Only when we do what is to be done by us is antakarana shuddhi possible. When our likes and dislikes are one thing and our duty is quite another, we put aside our raga dveshas and go by duty. This process, everyone gets his or her right. There is no fight. To demand one's right always means fights. One person will say this is my right. Other person will say this says the same. Neither person will fight, saying this is my duty. Okay, we'll stop here. Beautifully explained. We'll continue. That's right. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam
Purnamadaः Purnamidam
Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Dhanyavadaha.
Thank you, sir.